I think we're ready. Good evening, councillors, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the December Ordinary Meeting of Council. Joined this evening with General Manager Ken Ross, welcome back. Director of Corporate Services, Simon Woodall, and Director of Everything, Jeff Gunn. Could I ask the General Manager to make some announcements regarding the live streaming of this evening's meeting, please?
Thank you for your sentiments, Mr Mayor. The meeting is being live streamed and or recorded for on-demand viewing via Council's website. Attendance at the meeting is to be taken as consent by a person of their image and or voice being webcast. All speakers should refrain from making any defamatory comments or releasing personal information about another individual without their consent. Council accepts no liability for any damage that may result from defamatory comments made by persons attending meetings. All liability will rest with the individual who made the comments. The meeting must not be recorded by others without prior written consent of the council in accordance with the Council's Code of Meeting Practice. Councillors and staff are obligated to declare conflicts of interest as required under the Local Government Act 1993 and Council's adopted Code of Conduct. Councillors are reminded of their oath of office whereby they have declared and affirmed that they will undertake the duties of the office of councillor in the best interests of the people of Wentworth Shire and the Wentworth Shire Council, and they will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in them under the Local Government Act or any act to the best of their ability and judgment. Thank you.
Thank you, General Manager. I'd like to invite those who are able to stand, please. Tonight, I want to begin by acknowledging the horrific events that occurred in Bondi last Sunday evening. As we cheerfully left our local Christmas carols event here in Wentworth on that fateful evening, we soon learned the devastating news about a community in Sydney attending a Hanukkah celebration, the Jewish version of our carols by candlelight, mercilessly attacked by gunmen. Men, women and children were hit by the murderous actions. 15 died, including 10-year-old Matilda, and dozens were injured. Many are still in hospital, some are critical. An act of such brutal evil and hatred on our shores that we can barely comprehend it. We reject anti-Semitism in all its forms. We condemn Islamist terrorism and its radical ideology. We pray that our leaders, community, law enforcement and political, will be granted wisdom as they respond to one of Australia's darkest days. Amidst the atrocity, we also witness the best of humanity. Parents lay on their children to protect them from bullets. Police repeatedly entered the line of fire. A man tackled one of the terrorists and disarmed him, perhaps one of the most courageous acts any of us have ever seen in real time. We know that there were others who had attempted to disarm the terrorists but paid with their lives. These people are heroes. These people cherish and protect human life. Light will always overcome darkness. Tonight we extend our sincere condolences to the families of the slain. Let us pause in silence to honour the victims, to stand in solidarity with their families and the Jewish community, and pray that they will be comforted and encouraged at this time. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, are there any apologies? There are none. Are there leaves of absence? Note Councillor Weeding's leave of absence. Approved at the last meeting. Are there any disclosures of interests? Councillor Beaumont.
Yes, Mr Mayor, I'd like to declare an interest in agenda item 9.5. I'm a board member of the Wentworth District Community Medical Centre, or charity I should say. My interest is non-pecuniary.
Thanks, Councillor Beaumont. Councillor Crisp.
Mr Mayor, I'd like to declare an interest in confidential 12.1 as Early Settlers Museum. It's a significant non-pecuniary interest as I'm a director of the organisation.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Rodder.
I have a pecuniary interest in point 9.4 on Wentworth Christmas Eve Street Party. I'm subcontracted to coordinate that event on their behalf.
Thank you, councillor. Any further? Thank you. They are all noted. Okay, we'll move on to item 5. Would someone like to move to confirm the minutes of our previous meeting? Councillor Rodder, seconded Councillor Armstrong. All in favour? Thank you. Noted. Before we move to item 6, Councillor Crisp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move that 2 late items be admitted to the agenda. The first being at 9.20, request for financial assistance, Murray Darling Women's Network, and in closed business 12.2, which relates to a land purchase.
Is the motion seconded? Councillor Rodder, thank you. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you very much. We'll move to item 6, outstanding matters from previous meeting. Someone like to move? Thanks, Councillor Beaumont. Seconded, Councillor Evans. Thank you. Any questions? I'll move that we receive the report. Sorry, it's been moved. I'll ask those in favour that we receive the report. Thank you, that's carried. We will move to item 7.1. I move my mayoral report with amendment. The first meeting listed there on the 20th of November. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend the Inland Botanic Gardens AGM, but with that amendment, I move my report. Councillor Rodder is seconding my report.
And I had a little cross next to there. I thought it wasn't clear.
Correct. Before we go to questions, I'd just like to thank Director Gunn for stepping in as the Acting General Manager for the past month and a bit, and also to Gareth Roberts, who became Acting Director for that period of time. I'd like to acknowledge all those who we had a visit from our local MP today, and she went through some community recognition statements, and so wonderful to see so many of our volunteers locally recognised, and I thank all our volunteers. Thanks to our staff, being the last meeting of the year, done a wonderful job again. Thanks to Gail and Ebony for putting up with all the councillors. And thank those, particularly the skeleton staff, who are going to be on over the Christmas break when most of us are enjoying some time off. And of course our volunteers and emergency service people across the Shire. This afternoon there was an opening of the Pooncarie Health Service refurbishment, and a member of the gallery was present there as well, so you've had a busy day too. And that was really good to see really what embodies a resilient community, and they went through the titles and sort of the history of the Bush Nurse facility and that dates back coming up 100 years. Katie Robinson, citizen of Pooncarie, was very much behind that, and she was also recognised as the Murray Local Woman of the Year for 2025. So we send our congratulations to Katie. And with that, open to questions.
Question about the report.
Yes, in the...
Seven.
Councillor Nichols.
Yeah. Just fairly briefly, it was my pleasure on the Tuesday, the 2nd of December, to go to Pomona Public School for their annual constant presentation evening. The behaviour of the young people at that school is, it's just expected. You just can't go how well behaved they are. They perform, and they do. Everybody in the school has part of it. And I actually said to the teacher at the end of it, I congratulated her on the behaviour of the children, because they lead by example. It's a small school, everybody's in there and everybody has a go. They're very, very lucky that they have 2 people who are looking after children with disabilities, and they still have 6 teachers. So their ratio for children to teachers is very, very high. But somebody else wants to go one year, because I've been out there and I've seen the children grow from kindergarten to when they're leaving to go to high school, and then you see some of the ones in high school. But I just could not get over how well behaved and how well they presented themselves.
Thank you, Councillor Nichols. We'll include that as a statement within the report. And but very good to point out that we've had school presentations right across the Shire, and it's fantastic to see all the kids so excited. And I've had the privilege of going to a couple. I think Councillor Chris went to Danton this morning, and Polynnua, yes. So which I spelled incorrectly on social media, and I was very quickly reminded of the correct spelling. So it's a tricky one. Come on. Thanks. If there's no further questions, Councillor Rodder.
So just a comment in regards to following on from Councillor Nichols, the Australian Inland Botanic Gardens AGM, which was very well attended. There was Councillor Starrick, Councillor Nichols, myself, Councillor Weeding. Very exciting. The Botanic Gardens are about to embark on the largest project they've undertaken thus far, and they've put out the design, looking for design specifications for a world-class nature play children's garden at the gardens. So that's very exciting.
Fantastic. Very lucky to host that in our Shire. Okay, thanks. I'll put that to the vote. Those in favour? Thank you. That's carried. Move on now to item 8, the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee. And we have a recommendation for endorsement. So moved Councillor Nichols, seconded Councillor Rodder. Any questions? Councillor Beaumont.
So I think I'm right in assuming that the draft documents in relation to the CCTV will be going out for public consultation and distribution. It's a good document, very comprehensive, but I couldn't find any reference in there in relation to maintenance or annual audit of CCTV equipment and ensuring that the quality of picture is adequate, the cameras are actually working, and that the footage that's being sourced from those is actually of good quality. I think that we need something in that document that outlines an annual maintenance check or audit, if you like, to ensure that the CCTV equipment is appropriately placed and working and not being obstructed by trees, etc. I do know in the past that when we've attempted to look at CCTV footage, that hasn't been used because of obstruction. So I think that there's something in there in relation to annual audit.
So there's an operating procedure that's going to sit behind that policy, so a lot of that stuff will be included in the operating procedure. I suppose this is the policy is more about the governance and the actual need for the policy and our obligations as far as notifying the public and our obligations from privacy and data protection and all that type of stuff. Everything you've mentioned is all relevant and goes into then how we actually operate the system and as far as an operational procedure goes. So yeah, definitely that's all included in that. Okay, so
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Any further questions? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you. That's carried. We will move to item 9.1, the General Manager's report. Would someone like to move? Councillor Armstrong, seconded Councillor Crisp. Are there any questions? Councillor Rodder.
A couple of comments. So the Wentworth Regional Tourism meetings are not held monthly. So I think that's been brought up on a number of occasions. So there won't be a meeting on the 5th of January. There's no Australian Inland Botanic Gardens meeting in January. And if it can be listed that I'm an apology to the 10th of February Botanic Gardens meeting, as I'll be looking for a leave of absence. I'll be overseas.
Oh, and you're not listed there anyway on the 10th of February.
Well, it's Councillor Starrick and I'm being cut.
Okay, those changes are noted. Thank you. Any questions? Okay, we will put that to the vote. Those in favour? Thank you, that is carried. Item 9.2, the Australian Local Government Women's Association Conference for 2026. Would someone like to move a recommendation, or a motion rather? Councillor Beaumont. So what we'll be seeking is a motion that nominates representatives, I think.
The dates just prior to Easter for this conference and the next one on the agenda, which means I'll be neck deep in the Magenta Art Prize. I'm not available.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you are, Jodie.
It's going to be tricky for me as well.
So I don't, unless we've got someone who'd like to pull on a skirt. I'm not sure we've actually got anyone who's
So
available.
are men actually prevented from attending this conference?
They usually go with somebody else if they go. Looking at the paperwork, I personally looked at it, and I'm quite frankly $3,000 a person, roughly. I couldn't see the content. There's too much. What people do, there's too much lunch, afternoon tea, not much else.
Well,
it might be interesting to go to a corroboree, whatever that is. I suppose it'd be a corroboree, but
So if we, yeah, okay, no, that good discussion. Broken my own rules, and we've had a discussion before we've seconded the motion, but it's nearly Christmas. So I think, Councillor Beaumont, if there's no one available to go, then we can just let the motion lapse, or we can move that we don't attend this year and we revisit it next year. So
move an apology be sent.
Councillor Beaumont, moving that an apology be sent and that we do not attend.
Happy with that.
Thank you. Could I get a seconder, Councillor Starrick, just to demonstrate that we've got some
Gender balance.
some gender balance supporting this motion. All those in favour? Thank you, that is carried. Item 9.3, the 2026 Regional Futures Forum. So, this is another one for consideration. Held in March in Albury.
On the eve of Easter again.
Conference season. I guess before I ask for a motion, I might just put the question out there. Does anybody see themselves having availability to attend? And if so, then we can perhaps move a motion. And I mean, it looks like a valuable forum for what it's worth from my reading of the report. But
I'm jealous of some of those speakers.
yeah,
I think there's some good quality speakers.
I believe I'll be able to attend, Mr. Mayor.
okay, well, in that case, I'd like to seek a recommendation. If not nominating the representatives, nominating the number of representatives that council sends. No, we need the specific. Okay, thanks, Gail.
I'd move that Councillor Armstrong be the council representative to the 2026 Regional Futures Forum.
Thank you. Seconded, Councillor Crisp. Any discussion? All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Very efficient.
And that would be, I need to leave the room for the next
Item
item.
9.4. Councillor Rodder, if you so choose. Request for event sponsorship, Wentworth Christmas Eve street party and fireworks. A recommendation. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Starrick, as printed. Councillor Crisp, seconding. Any discussion? Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Councillor
I'm
Beaumont.
happy to say a few words. Yes, look, this is quite a big event on the Wentworth social calendar. It's very well attended every year by citizens locally, and actually does draw visitors from Mildura and surrounds as well. Very, very popular event. Fireworks are fantastic. This group does a magnificent job in hosting this event each year, and I'd strongly recommend supporting this request.
Thank you, Councillor Beaumont. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Any further speakers for the motion?
I think Brian said all that needs to be
I'll put
said.
the motion. Those in favour? Thank you, carried. Okay, as we welcome Councillor Rodder back, Councillor Beaumont, 9.5. Welcome back, Councillor Rodder.
Thank you.
We are dealing with item 9.5, request, for reimbursement Wentworth District Community Medical Centre. We have a recommendation to choose an option. Would someone like to move a motion? Councillor Nichols.
I move A. And reimburse $859.74 to the Wentworth District Community Medical Centre Incorporated.
Thank you, Susan. Is the motion seconded? Councillor Armstrong. Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Councillor Rodder.
I've got a question, really, more than so in regards to the use of the facility here upstairs. So is this going to be an ongoing issue that's going to be for other events that are held at the venue? Or we put processes in place to avoid having a request for reimbursement come back?
Well, I guess it's up to an individual organisation as to whether they request reimbursement, isn't it?
There wasn't security required for the women's conference. That's
General Manager or other.
I thought when I went on leave that there was meant to be security for yarn equipment and security for medical clinic. So with a licensed venue and risks associated with personnel coming and going and whatever else, it was deemed appropriate we have licensed security guards.
there was no licensed security guard that I can recall from the women's conference.
I was absent, so I'm sorry. It was certainly requested from my office that security guards for all liquor events that have liquor licensing and the opportunity for people to come and go through that side door and access into the balance of the building.
So given that I work in the event space and the number of security guards that are required per person, has there been a determination made on the number of security guards required for each event depending on the number of attendees? Or is it just a blanket?
Cover each doorway based on 200 people can be upstairs.
So each doorway is in which?
Coming down the stairs.
Yeah.
At this foyer here and the side Sandwich Street door.
Because for the women's conference, they had like a barricade across, and it was only people who were let through there to access the elevator to come upstairs who needed disability access to the building. There certainly wasn't any security guards.
Sorry, that's news to me.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of thinking that we probably, if it's going to be a requirement, we need to make sure that it's applied fairly. Otherwise, it becomes part of the high fee, and that's organised by council as a matter of course. Is it in the user terms and conditions of hiring the facility?
With respect, there's only been two hire of that.
One was charged and one had to have and one didn't, and one.
No, you missed what I said. On my instruction from when I went on leave, I said both of the events had to have security guards.
So, yeah, but it brings about So they must sign a hire agreement when they hire the facility. You know, every time I've used a council facility, you have to sign a hire agreement. It should be in the hire agreement stated in there. So if it's not, then it needs to be amended to make sure that
Don't disagree with you. Go back to my other statement saying that.
but it should be in the hire agreement, not just an instruction from your office. Simon's nodding his head.
All right. Sounds like our executive staff will review the hire agreement. Thank you, Councillor Rodder. Does anyone wish to speak for the motion? Against it? Put it to the vote. Those in favour? Thank you. That is carried. And we'll invite Councillor Beaumont to return. And we will prepare our voting slips. Welcome back, Councillor Beaumont. We're dealing with item 9.6, the Australia Day Awards, and this is where Council gets very secretive, and we're going to use a ballot paper to vote for the nominations for the various categories of Australia Day Awards, which will be presented at a function on the evening of the 25th of January. Thank you very much.
Just check.
Equal process says on it.
There's instructions on it. Read the instructions.
Oh, so it's not preferential voting. It's not
Very sad it's not.
Mayor Clark.
First past the
That's one.
One tick or one cross.
Well, one's a
Don't
star
want
because
to
I put
be put in
ones.
a position to have a count back if one more passes away or anything.
We don't want to create a computer model to determine the outcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, everybody.
No, you're right. Thank you.
Oh, it's our 360-degree cameras.
We got them all.
Thank you. One more. You just need to move in a second.
Oh yes, having completed the voting, now let us.
Hang on, Greg hasn't voted yet.
That's okay. We're going to. I'm going to seek a mover that we actually do the voting. Thanks, Councillor Armstrong. Councillor Crisp, wonderful. I guess there's no discussion because we've voted. So those in favour?
He didn't say it was early Christmas.
Thank you.
There's maybe in the discussion is how do we encourage, more applications, nominations.
Well, that moment has swiftly passed, I'm afraid. But it is a very, very good sentiment, and I think a little more. Well, we try, we promote it
Yes,
6 months out. So
I've personally sent it to a number of sporting clubs and.
it's the most wonderful day of the year. So yes. Okay, moving on to item 9.7, the monthly finance report for November. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Evans, Councillor Nichols seconded, and you have a question.
I do have. You know it's going to always be money with me. Abandonments of nearly $22,000. What we end up at the end of the year with abandonments for how much roughly? Because it's a lot of money for a month, isn't it? 21,000.
That's that's year to date. That's
Oh, year to
month,
date.
that's
No, I'm
year to
thinking-
date, that's not the month.
Oh, that's okay then. Well, still, okay, so it's still this month then is the 13,800, right?
The one for this month is those ones that have been approved by the general manager.
We have every month when credits for incorrect water meeting reasons. Do we have our staff where they have training on doing this item? Because I know it's, you're going to say it's human failure in places, but
Sometimes it's more general than that, where a guesstimation's done because of dogs or other things. So, yeah, so it's not completely in error of reading the digital or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's a guesstimation to keep the bills rolling out, and then we get the true and accurate record. There's got to be a.
We don't send a thing out like they do with your electricity to say that the meter's going to be read.
We generally leave a note there to say we've come to read your meter, but we couldn't access it, or you've got dogs or whatever. Could you please contact us
And give them a reading.
Okay.
do the reading?
That's a slab.
Simon's paying for dinner.
Slab.
That's a bit short.
Thank
Okay.
you, Councillor Nichols.
No, that's okay, that's fine.
Any further questions? Councillor Starrick.
Just a question on the table at the top of page 137. Apologies, it says balance outstanding as at the 30th of June 24. Should that be 25?
Oh, which page, sorry?
137.
Table.
Yes, that should. No, that's because that's what the balance. Yes, that should have been 2025. Yes, yeah.
25.
Yeah, that was.
Just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Councillor Starrick.
2024 year.
Any further questions? Put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you. Carried. Item 9.8, the monthly investment report for November 2025. Could I please have a mover? Councillor Starrick. Secondly, Councillor Rodder. Any questions? Put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you, carried. Okay, we're going to move to item 9.9, Code of Conduct Complaint Statistics for the period ending 31 August 2025. And there is a recommendation to note the report. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Armstrong, seconded Councillor Crisp. Any questions? Councillor Armstrong.
Mr. Mayor, I think it's quite promising that we're showing lots of zeros there, unlike lots of other local government associations around New South Wales that have numerous counts of code of conduct complaints against staff and councillors. So I think it's a reflection of how well we conduct ourselves as councillors and staff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very commendable. Any further questions? Councillor Beaumont's nearly got one.
Quite a question. Oh, look, since you prompted me, the
I didn't mean to do that.
terms of reference under which what qualifies a complaint are very, very narrow in within our policies, and that would be the New South Wales government policy. But I just wonder sometimes about. We do get letters from time to time from ratepayers, and they might be neighbourly disputes and that sort of thing that are unresolved and ongoing. Do we don't necessarily fit within the realms of a complaint, but do we have a mechanism for managing and monitoring that type of letter that comes into the organisation? I mean, we can probably all think of recent ones where there's been neighbourly disputes that go on and on and on without resolution, and often ask for council intervention. Do we have a way of documenting, recording those sorts of letters?
General Manager.
Yeah, through our governance team, they're all monitored and acted in accordance with the complaint handling framework and governance framework. So, but it doesn't attribute to being a complaint as tabled here. It's more so our own internal processes and procedures that respond to some of those namely disputes, and in relation to some of those, it's got to be within the remit of our obligations, or things under the Local Government Act, or powers of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act. It's not about civil matters or whatever the case may be. So it's well known through 40 years in local government that councils are thrust upon anything. We've got to fix anything, bloke flashing in the street to weeds in the gutter or water or drainage or whatever the case may be. So the answer to your question, they're all recorded, but are they actioned as a complaint, or are they just responded to in a fashion that sort of says, not much for us to do.
Yeah, I guess what I'm driving to is that, with that sort of letter, there's often accusations made of inappropriate behaviour and neighbours not meeting DA requirements and that sort of thing. I guess we need, as an organisation, need to be able to demonstrate if things turn really sour that we have shown due diligence.
Yeah, so there's a threshold of dissatisfaction where there might be an ombudsman inquiry, and the ombudsman may deliberate and have a look at our records, and we've got to demonstrate that we have or we haven't, and then the ombudsman makes a determination of how the matter's been handled or not. So that's been several cases across my time here. So
So is there a report of those provided to council? Sorry, through you, Mr. Mayor.
sorry, I didn't hear because someone was.
Is there a report that's provided to councillors about around that matter? So if there was a flood of, say for example, or even just one or two, at some stage councillors get a report on people's dissatisfaction or satisfaction with council staff, management, processes?
Not historically.
Nothing that I can think of in terms of a trigger to report to council. I mean, the local community trigger is that if they're not happy with me or senior management, they go to you anyway. So that's the trigger. I mean, formality around that is not one that I could ask Simon or his governance team to pull a report on. I mean, we can go to individual customers and by default of key names or key things, we could print a list. But yeah.
So part of our risk management strategy, shouldn't there be a central point where that's counted in the risk matrix?
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, I realise that. That all forms part of our risk appetite and the various risk categories we have around operations and reputational risk and all those type of things. So, and I suppose going on from the points raised by Councillor Beaumont, so yeah, something will come into our council at Wentworth email address, our records management staff pick it up and register it in our records management system. It then gets assigned to an officer to review or action. Then if it's determined to be a complaint versus a request for service or whatever, it's then dealt with depending on what the contents of the correspondence is. So if someone in the instance of the example provided by Councillor Beaumont is that someone's put in a letter about, say, a neighbour potentially not complying with DA requirements, well then that would probably be referred across to the planning department for them to potentially have assess of it. We'd have to I suppose determine in the first instance, is it actually a complaint or is it just someone passing on information, in which case we might go back to them and say, well, it's actually not a complaint, but if you've got more information to provide us, we're more than happy to consider it. So there's a number of different mechanisms that we use depending on the content of the initial correspondence and then how it's dealt with after that.
Yeah, but there's no formal mechanism to report the number of complaints through to council laws. So
the only reason why this one's here is because there's a legislative obligation for us to report it.
Yeah, I realise that, but so potentially there could be a flood of complaints about the head of roads and engineering not doing his job properly, and we had no idea. If members of the general public didn't come to us with concerns.
As you know from your training, in your role as a councillor, you can ask the general manager to report on anything within council operations. So just make that as a comment. Did you have any follow-up to that response?
No. Thank you,
Any
Mr. Mayor, and
further-
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, I didn't make it up. It's been there the whole time.
I know.
Any further questions on this? Put it to the vote. Those in favour? Thank you. That is carried. Item 9.10, 2024-5 annual report. Looking for a recommendation to note the report. Councillor Evans has moved. Councillor Crisp has seconded. Open for questions. Does anyone wish to speak for the motion? Against? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you. That is carried. Item 9.11. Code of Meeting Practice for Wentworth Shire Council.
Ready for the soapbox.
Move the recommendation, Mr. Mayor.
I move to adjourn. Councillor Armstrong has moved. Councillor Crisp has seconded. Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Would anyone like to speak against the motion?
Absolutely.
Oh, Councillor Roberts.
Surprise, surprise.
Okay.
So I very disappointed that the feedback that's been provided through to the minister in this in reference to the change of code of meeting practices yet to result in any changes being made. I think it disadvantages women, particularly rural councils, and hopefully early in the new year there will be some softening of particularly the inability for councillors to attend via audio-visual link. I don't have any idea how he thought that improves transparency and accountability for councils in any way, shape or form. But my thoughts on this are very well known, and I shall be voting against the recommendation because it's disingenuous to councillors as a whole.
Thank you, Councillor Rodder. Just before I call Councillor Crisp, I will just I'm not speaking against the motion, but I just want to put on record that you raised some very serious points, and particularly with regard to attending the audio-visual link. I made a submission to the Country Mayors Association, which thank you to the chair of that organisation, that was taken directly to the minister. Now, it didn't resolve in the outcome that we would like, but I was able to put on record that in our more remote communities, it's not uncommon that you might have people working some 100, 200 kilometres from the council chamber, and for whatever reason they might be scheduled onto work. I think it's prejudiced against those people participating in meetings, and as a mayor and a member of the governing body, I would much rather that people could attend than not. So we made that point. Nothing's come of it, but there has been some softening. For example, there was a submission from Burke to suggest that on the same topic, sometimes some of their roads might only need 5 or 10 mil of rain and they're unpassable, and so there's now they will be able to attend by audio-visual. So bearing in mind that if you have caring responsibilities or you're ill, you can attend that way. So understand the minister's position, but I did put in a strong submission picking up on the points you've made. Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Councillor Crisp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And building on your comments as well, that the council has made its positions quite clear and quite adequately, and that the peak bodies are taking this up as well. Councillor Starrick and I attended Local Government New South Wales conference, and with the minister present, there was a fairly heated debate, I think would be the way to describe it, very emotional at times. So I think that the minister received the message loud and clear. Particularly, it was very much focused on the attendance at meetings by audio-visual. And I think under that pressure, and that he's already made some concessions, I'm hoping that a bit of common sense will prevail over time. But certainly want to reassure councillors here that the peak bodies have taken this up very strongly, and will continue to do that on our behalf. And I think that's a good outcome. It's not for us to carry. We've done all we can do, but the peak bodies can do more and are going to do more.
I am just following on from that, if I may, Mr. Mayor. Through that forum, am I correct in saying that there was 900 members who unanimously supported the a document to go to the minister on that matter?
I don't know about the numbers, but yes, there was a very, very strong message sent to the minister.
Thank you for that question. Councillor Nichols, are you speaking for or against? For. Thank you.
And seeing Councillor Crisp stood up, I'll also stand, as it's one of those things that's
I've got to practice this.
what they're doing, to my looking at this document, is they're reverting back to. I've been in this building and numerous other buildings for a long time, and it comes down basically to common courtesy. And this is they're going back to the old thinking, because many of the things that they're now proposing in here have happened over many years that have dropped off. And I think it comes down to the same with a lot of education, not only for councillors, but it comes down to school functions and all those where people say kids. I didn't see any kids out at Pomona when I went there. There was a lot of children. But correct speech and correct mannerisms are the things that we do. So this is one of those things that I think some of the things are onerous, and they're not attending basically was highlighted, particularly during the pandemic, and the government have got most of the people that work back, and I know these areas it's different to what they are in cities. However, it's nice to be able to look at the face over there rather than look at a screen.
Thanks, Councillor Nichols. I did see a few kids on the way back from Pookerry today. Would anyone else like to speak against the motion?
I can make a comment along the line of being against. I understand the intent of the new policy in that it's aimed at increasing transparency and putting debate and conversation, communication in relation to council matters in the public forum. But I think the abolition or not ability to have briefing sessions or workshops may potentially mean that council is perhaps not getting sufficient information or opportunity to discuss various matters that are coming before the council table. And I think that that inability to hold a pre-meeting is perhaps a retrograde step. I think, and that's whilst acknowledging that I'm in favour of greater transparency. The fact that everything is going to be live streamed, all meetings will be live streamed, all conversations, discussions, workshops, whatever will be live streamed, might have the opposite effect of what they're trying to achieve, or what the minister's trying to achieve, in that councillors are a bit unsure about a topic or a bit timid, may not be inclined to ask questions or inquire in relation to matters where there would be a pre-meeting session. So I guess I have concerns in that the new policy may not achieve the outcome the minister's looking for.
Thanks, Councillor Beaumont. Councillor Starrick, speaking for?
Speaking for.
Thank you.
While I acknowledge and agree with the comments made by both Councillor Rodder and Councillor Beaumont, there's a number of things here that I don't like. Ultimately, the policy is mandatory, and if we don't adopt this policy, if there's any conflict, it reverts to the government's policy regardless for any conflict. So the opportunity that we have here there are optional clauses within the policy that the council staff have adjusted to the best of their ability. And so if we don't adopt this policy that has taken into account the changes that our council can make, that we do have some discretion, we lose some opportunity. So my position is to adopt it because it's got those council made changes in it, acknowledging that we've got the peak bodies and continuing push to advocate for ourselves and other councils that the approach by the minister has not necessarily been well considered.
Thanks, Councillor Starrick. Okay, any further speakers for or against? Put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Thank you. The motion is carried. Oh yeah. Item 9.12, Wentworth Shire Council Draft Flood Study, Riverine and Major Overland Flow. Case in point, Councillor Beaumont. Wonderful to have opportunity to go through that hectic 500-page document. Councillor Armstrong, you've moved the recommendation. Councillor Crisp has seconded. Does anyone wish to speak for the motion? Or against the motion? Or have a question?
Clarification, does the report go to public exhibition for 51 days or 56 days?
The recommendation is 51 calendar days, so as per the recommendation.
Thanks for that clarification. Councillor Evans.
I'll just speak for it, Mr. Mayor. I think this is a document that we're all reeling over at the moment. It's a huge document, but I think a valuable one for the ongoing, for the Shire moving forward. We are in a real-world environment with the possibilities of unknown floods that could pass through. I think with that and the need to be carefully planning our residential developing and residential developments near the rivers, I think it's a good solid document to begin that work with. So I think it's a valuable piece of documentation for us to take forward.
Thanks, Councillor Evans. Anyone speaking against? Councillor Rodder, you wanted to speak for?
Just a comment. So the opportunity to have a summary presented to us in a format that was concise was very much appreciated. So thank you for organising that.
Excellent. Councillor Crisp, speaking for?
I'd like to put on the record for those who may review this submission and how important their contribution in responding to this could be. We're at a stage where I refer to sort of page 1 where there's a flow chart, and we still have 2 steps to go with this report. And many of this is very technical and a little bit of it is high level, but there are some smaller things that are important that the consultants may or may not be aware of, and that's where some older knowledge on past flood behaviours would be of interest. So for those who are out there, I'd encourage them to put their thoughts down about some issues that they feel are important and get them back to us, because this is an extensive body of knowledge, but at the micro level, it's not all the knowledge, and we really need that feedback.
Thanks. Good contribution, Councillor Crisp, and for anybody listening, that is the key message. Make sure you use this period of public exhibition to have your input into what's going to be a very pivotal and important document for the Shire. Are there any further speakers? Councillor Armstrong.
Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Echo the comments, particularly from Councillor Evans and Councillor Crisp. We are in a riverine environment. Riverine flooding is the biggest natural disaster threat to us locally here, as compared to other regions where it might be fire or earthquakes. It is our biggest threat. It's our biggest threat as a shire as we consider development into the future and what areas are at risk, and also as we consider ageing and current infrastructure and future infrastructure, and as we are going forward in the future, what needs work now and what planning needs to be done to ensure we can keep our communities safe into the future. Echo the comments from the councillors that if you're out there with knowledge on our riverine flooding over the years, please make a public submission through the portal. It's vital that we capture as much of that data as possible so that we can set our shire up to be able to be best placed to deal with riverine flooding into the future.
Thanks, Councillor Armstrong. If there's no further speakers, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you, that is carried. We move now to item 9.13, Wentworth Local Environmental Plan 2011. Planning proposal to rezone some RU4 land to RU5 land. Would someone like to move the recommendation? Councillor Crisp, thank you, as printed. Seconded by Councillor Nichols. Are there any questions? Councillor Rodder.
That Pittman Avenue, Melaleuca area is already going to be under significant pressure with the coming online of the Red Hill estate on the opposite side of the road. With traffic coming out of the Midway with the development there, has there been any thoughts to putting potentially a roundabout at Melaleuca and Pittman to ease some of the traffic congestion which is going to be there? I know from personal experience that the traffic flow out of Midway, for example, into the highway is sometimes it can be a full 10 minutes sitting there till you can get enough of a break in the traffic. So the additional traffic that's coming with the rezoning of this for residential development is going to add additional pressure to what is already under pressure.
Thanks, Councillor Rodder. Director Gunn, any comment on that question?
Not directly. I'm happy to take the question on notice, but
traffic impact assessment. So it's historically any of this residential developments had comments from Transport for New South Wales and the need for improved intersection of highway and or Melaleuca Pittman. So the answer to your question is we can't definitively say is it going to be a roundabout, is it going to be a left-hand turn, right-hand turn, what channelized right lane or whatever the case may be, but it's certainly under consideration through the traffic impact assessment and the referral to Transport for New South Wales. So
I'd only add to that not specific to this rezoning proposal, but earlier in the year, Transport for New South Wales Far West came out and did some consultation, and it was certainly Director Gunn's team and myself put some of those intersections, Dawn Avenue, Melaleuca, other intersections that are likely to experience increased traffic loads as the development goes ahead, the various developments, not this one specifically. So we've flagged that as areas that need to be looked at. Anything further to add to that, Jeff? Or?
Oh no, I think you've covered that there. There's, as you said, there's a number of those particular pinch points that were raised, and for as we go through that and the development increases, there's a number of different options for treatments, and they would be all under consideration, of which roundabouts.
We've asked them to put that into their planning because you've got the Sturt Highway interact. So basically, at a general level, interaction of council roads with state roads. So we've got the Sturt Highway, and then of course we've got Pittman and Corbett with the Silver City.
Yep.
So yeah, with the amount of development that's proposed in the pipeline, it's very important to consider that, and hopefully it is being considered.
So there was some traffic counting done on Midway. Is it possible for the results of those traffic surveys to come to council, or are they do they go to Transport New South Wales, or do they go directly to us? Or
On Midway Drive, or maybe ours.
Yeah, happy to provide that information.
thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions?
So, just
Councillor Rodder.
I have a this is not exactly related to this development, and I'm not sure if it kind of fits under this question, but it was brought to my attention that there's now no longer any truck parking at the Trentham Cliffs truck parking bay.
You are 100% correct. That does not fit.
Yeah, so where can I bring that up?
Thank you, Councillor Rodder. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this motion? Put the question. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Thank you. Oh yes, gosh. So if I rewind 30 seconds, I'll remind councillors that as this is a planning matter, it was considered a division, and all votes for and against will be recorded and have been recorded, so I'm not going to call for the vote again. Thank you. Item 9.14, A75 Lot 453 Western Murray Irrigation Drainage Reserve Acquisition. We have a multi-pronged recommendation. Councillor Armstrong.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I would move the recommendation as written.
Thank you. Moved as written.
I would thank the staff for the thoughtfulness that's gone into the recommendation that's length.
Indeed, indeed. Is the motion seconded? Councillor Rodder, thank you. Okay, before I go for fors and against, we might open it to questions. There are no questions. Does anyone wish to speak for the motion? Against the motion? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you. That is carried. Item 9.15, Development Application Determination Report for November 2025. Can I have a mover? Councillor Rodder, seconded Councillor Evans. Any questions? Put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you. That is carried. Item 9.16, Re-establishment of alcohol-free zones. There is a recommendation. Councillor Nichols is moving. Councillor Beaumont seconded. Any questions? Anyone wish to speak for? Against? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you. That is carried. All right. Item 9.17. Request for reduction in water usage account. So there's some options here. If someone would like to move a motion, please. Councillor Beaumont.
I'll move the option B to waive a proportional amount, assuming that 1/11/23 to 36/24 is representative of typical 8 months of water take. So approximately 1/3 of the next 3 periods, a total waiver of $3,323.67.
Thank you. Councillor Beaumont has moved option B. Seconder, Councillor Rodder. Thank you. Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Councillor Beaumont.
Yeah, look, I come to the conclusion based on the information provided that option B presents a fair and reasonable adjustment to the situation here before us. The property owners concerned raised the matter of a problem with the meter, and council staff did inspect the water meter and found a discrepancy. So based on that, and they also inspected the property for any additional water leaks or that sort of thing, and nothing was found. However, based on the fact that the property owners have self-reported and requested some testing, I think option B is probably fair and reasonable.
Thank you. Anyone wish to speak against? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you, that's carried. We'll move to item 9.18, disputed water account. And there are some options for this one as well. So if someone would like to move a motion, please. Councillor Rodder.
Council waives the interest of $1,299.72 that is accrued on the property.
So you're moving option B.
Yep.
Is the motion seconded? Councillor Armstrong. Does anyone wish to speak for the motion? Anyone wish to speak against? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Motion is carried. Item 9.19, project. Oh, gosh, snuck up so quick. Favourite report. Project and works report for December. Someone like to move? Councillor Rodder, seconded Councillor Beaumont. Are there any questions for Director Gunn? Councillor Starrett.
Just with regard to the additional water storage tanks for the Gold treatment plant, I just wondered with the additional storage, are we also increasing production?
We're increasing production in terms of what we can hold with our clear water storage. In essence, yes, we are. So we'll probably be running the plant for slightly longer to fill that additional storage at the site, and then the bit larger pumps there. We'll have some. If the tower's full, then we will have that additional 180 or 200,000 litres of treated water stored on site to transfer. So yes, we are in effect getting the maximum we can out of them.
And I'm also presuming that we're in summer, but in the winter months when the demand for the water is not as high and we've got that backup storage, we'd have that option to turn off the production and do preventative maintenance and things like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it provides a number of different advantages to us in that respect. So,
right.
Yes.
Thanks, Councillor Starrick. Councillor Nichols.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've got two questions. The Ivanhoe Road reshooting works. What time structure do you expect to get the licence? Because we're heading into very hot weather and it's going to the road.
For the water?
Yes.
Unknown. I think at this rate, we would be hopeful that we can get it as soon as possible. But
we're heading for Christmas, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, the second one also goes into Christmas. The Poonkerry Camp Kitchen and the Wentworth Camp Kitchen, are they going to be finished in time for the influx of people expecting at Christmas time?
I'll have to take that question on notice, but the expectations is that it doesn't. Both facilities are still functional. So, to my knowledge, they're the minor additional building related works associated with both of those.
They've been ongoing for months and months and months and months.
Councillor Beaumont.
I think that those camp kitchens, or particularly the one at Wentworth, refers to the camp kitchen at the showgrounds, not the caravan park.
We'll still have people there though over Christmas.
At the showgrounds.
Well, that will surely be full.
I think, if I may, the Wentworth one might refer to the additional decorative brickwork associated with
outside.
Yes, but as far as the usage and everything would go, so we would not plan that work to interrupt any known activities and stuff at that particular location. And as I said, the functionality of the both facilities are up there.
Thanks. Thank you. Councillor Rodder, you have a question?
I was going to make a point that both the Pooncarie and the Wentworth Camp Kitchen, Pooncarie was used for the Pooncarie races successfully. The Wentworth one was used very successfully for the Wentworth show. So that was August, September-ish. So any minor work, Councillor Nichols, are only just cosmetic.
But they should be done. They should be done. We put up a proposal, something with a finish date, and it should be
Well,
finished.
given the camp kitchen was used again for the Melbourne Cup day, it's probably not unrealistic to expect those works to be held over until there's a bit of a gap in the event calendar at the showgrounds.
The stainless steel benches are a work of art. I have a question, Director. Oh, sorry, you have a
I was
question?
just going to add to that comment. As a committee person with the Wentworth District Racing Club, the kitchen was fantastic on race day. As well tested, well used, and very much appreciated by the people working within that building. Very, very functional.
Excellent. My question, Director Gunn, I've had a few people asking about the Dawn Avenue drainage basin. They're wondering if Council's building a replica Sydney Harbour, but can I just clarify that that is partly functional, expanding the size of the drain. It's partly aesthetic, like it's going to be beautifying the area, but more to the point, is that giving us a bit of extra space and capacity before we're able to access Pink Lake as development proceeds?
Yes, essentially it will. So that's what you see from Dawn Avenue is the first of three basins. There's a second one further up from that, and then there'll be a third basin associated with some further development that's scheduled to go on behind what has already been constructed. So so that gives us additional storage to handle the current and proposed immediate developments in and around that basin. And I think if you may have noticed that the pathway in through that stage is now done. I think the shade structures and seating will go in next week, along with hydro seating, and then shortly followed by the other landscaping works with the grass and the planting of the tube style. So
there'll be aquatic plants and so on.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Now, Councillor Armstrong, did you have a question?
Did, thank you, Director Gunn. Just in the water there, under the Gogol-Baronga reticulation modelling, which is the first comment, commence preliminary models, number of areas of potentially impacted supply already identified. Is there any opportunity to be more specific around those areas? Or we just...
I'm happy to provide some specific information with regards to where they are. I don't have them particularly on me, but I'm more than happy to provide you with those particular areas after the Sure.
Thanks, Director.
Thank you. Councillor Beaumont.
Yes, a comment in relation to the Cadell Street shared pathway. as the council that raised this matter in the last term. I'm particularly pleased to see confirmation of funding towards the shared pathway along Cadell Street. It is not a safe environment at the moment for pedestrians walking along that roadway, sharing that with motorised vehicles. I believe it'll be a great asset and provide greater visitor experience for people staying in the caravan park that in particular want to walk down to the junction park and from the viewing tower, etc. So thank you very much for pursuing that.
Thank you. Councillor Evans?
I'm good.
Happy as Larry. If there's no further questions, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you, that is carried. We will move to item 920, request for financial assistance, Murray-Darling Women's Network. And there are options. Would someone like to move the motion, please? Councillor Beaumont.
So recommend move the option of granting $5,000 to the Murray-Darling.
Thank you. Option A has been moved. Is there a seconder? Councillor Starrick, thank you. Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Against the motion? For the motion? No speakers? Councillor Beaumont.
Say that this is I guess a fledgling organisation, but they have conducted at least one very successful event in recent weeks, and that being the Yana Pittman event here at the Civic Centre, which was I think attended by around 200 women, and it was very popular on the night, very well attended, and lots of good feedback coming out of that event. So very worthwhile a cause, in my opinion.
Thanks, Councillor Beaumont. Yes, I want to congratulate Alana Baird and the committee for putting on such a fine event, for attracting so many people to sign up to the new organisation. It shows a lot of enthusiasm for, I was really going to say young women, all women, to catch up and form new friendships and share common interests. So I think congratulations to them. Are there any further speakers? I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Thank you. That's carried. There are nil notices of motion and there are nil questions with notice. So we'll move to item 11, confidential business. Councillor Crisp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council adjourns into closed session, the recording of the meeting be suspended, and members of the press and public be excluded from the closed session, and that the access to correspondence and reports relating to the items considered during the course of the closed session be withheld unless declassified by a separate motion.
Is the motion seconded? Councillor Evans, thank you. Those in favour? Thank you, that is carried. And I thank our gallery and our representative from Sunraysia Daily for attending and wish you a very Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Thank you. I'll invite the General Manager to report on the outcomes of the reports in closed council, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Deliberation of 2 land acquisitions during tonight's closed council business, where council has agreed to purchase the Cumula Packers 5 freehold titles for an agreed price of $400,000, and delegate you and I to fix the common seal. And in that agreement, it should be noted that any future capital works to prepare for the site for the purpose of future purpose shall be funded by state and federal government or by separate resolution of council. The second acquisition was the airport land to secure tenure around our improved infrastructure, where council's agreed to acquire and purchase that land from the Goa Pastoral Company as an agreed price, and that was all that was deliberated in closed council this evening.
Thank you, General Manager. Councillor Nichols.
Before you go, just like to pass on my thanks to their staff for their courtesy, good manners and humour. Wish them all a safe and healthy Christmas and a very prosperous new year. You've got 9 different people that you're dealing with, and we're all different. And I'm sure at some time we've all caused some sort of intense problem to you.
Councillor Nichols, you've taken the words right out of my mouth, and that concludes this evening's meeting, and our next ordinary meeting is scheduled for the 18th of February 2026. Merry and safe Christmas to all of you. Thank you.